happy that this session it's in an important aspect of the Italian industry, of Italian business model industry. As you know, we touched several steps, and today we had the honor to have Alessandra Guffanti. And honestly, we also switch when I'm in one part of the world, she's on another part of the world. So we are never on the same timeline. And I asked her to be connected today because she has, let me say, several hats. In one point, it's all the sales, distribution, and it's really seen one of the most compelling aspects of the success of a brand. But she's also the person that represents the Italian industry in the international aspect, representing a new brand, a young brand, and also on top of the edge brands that they follow specifically sustainability. So let me say that now I want to give the word to Alessandra because she doesn't need too many presentation, honestly. And I would like to have, first of all, a journey of Alessandra Chiara Guffanti and Guffanti showroom story, because Guffanti, it's a story and made part of the story of the Made in Italy, honestly. Alessandra.
Orietta, thank you very much for this great introduction. I should really record you every time, and I'm very thankful to you, to your words. Let me also thank all the organizations through Claudia, Arturo, Camera Nazionale della Moda, because it's an honor for me that I have the possibility for this hour together to speak on the other side of the world. So inside Mexico, a country which has a huge capacity and potential inside textile and accessory industry. So first of all, thanks to you all. I suppose you come from different parts of your country, and I had the possibility to check over some of your stories. I'm really impressed about the capacity of your organization to put together different mindsets and companies for this journey. Now digital, as Orietta said, but I really hope very soon to meet you physically here in Italy. Just a question before starting. Who of you has already been in Italy for a job or for holiday? Somebody here, Mariana. Ciao, Mariana. Nice to meet you. Mariana,
Hola.
Andrea Marufo. Okay, also Andrea Marufo. Well done. Okay. So you're still a minority. I hope you get a majority at the end of this journey together at your course. So, in fact, Italy is a country which has the possibility, of course, to be your country for your holidays. But in textile and fashion, it's the place where we have international connections and can be the hub of any of your businesses, either whether you are on the supply chain, so yarn, textile, finishing, manufacturing, or you are on the product, so the ending part of the supply chain, so finished items. You can on both sides, so on the supply chain and on the finished products, through the Italian market and system, get in touch with worldwide buyers and connections. Let me jump into this opportunity by, first of all, introducing to you my family business, Guffanti Concept Showroom. And before showing to you just really only 4 slides, because the point is not to make a lesson about the story of Guffanti Showroom, but to share with you difficulties and opportunities we face every day together. First of all, Guffanti Concept Showroom was born in 1989. It's a family business, and it was founded by Gianfranco Guffanti, it's my father, who is a person who has a big love for fashion, but not only in terms of beauty, but looking for products which are meaningful, so which are precious for multi-brand shops. So Gufanti showroom has always been the middle person, let's say, between brands and shops, multi-brand shops all over the Italian market. Actually, we have 6 showrooms: Milano, Roma, Napoli, Bari, Palermo, and Padova. And in every one of our showrooms, we present international brands to multi-brand shops. Why? Because the Italian market is a market which has a deep organization of multi-brand boutique. It can be very small boutiques, it can be a little bit bigger, but it's really the characteristic of the Italian market. So if you want to be successful in my country, you don't have to open flagship stores. It's not starting from this point. It can be, but it's not the only way. The best way is to talk in all the country, from north to the islands, to the huge amount of multi-brand shops who are willing to make a selection of international or Italian brands. So what is our job? Our job is to be exclusive distributor of fashion brands. We work with fashion brands from Europe, from United States. Actually, we don't have from Mexico, who knows, from Australia, from Asia. These brands, through our organization, get in touch with the shops, and we sell to these shops through our organization. So as distributors, the goods are delivered to our warehouse in Italy, and we ship directly to the Italian shops. So the shops feel really easy. They don't have huge problems in dealing with other languages, other timing. I mean, everything which is international business. They deal with an Italian showroom for international brands. So let's start from the very beginning, and let me share with you some notes about the Gufanti showroom journey. I have here a few slides just really to sum up some of our information. Ok.
Ce la dovresti fare, sì, la vedo.
Io non la vedo.
No, adesso no, vedevo prima lo schermo, ma non... No, we don't see that. Questo Meet tiene come un bug, come si dice.
No, because it's correct how I did it. I do it always. Let me just interrupt it and do it again. No worries.
Okay.
It can happen. I will also close all the other things I have under, not really to make any confusion for Meet about what's the priority to pick up. Okay, so we got it. And in case it doesn't work, we keep on talking. Things are so many to share. Do you see it?
Yes, now you can.
We got it. Okay. So first of all, let me talk about our name and logo. Gufanti Concept Showroom has selected as a logo a bottle. I also have one here on my back. Why have we selected a bottle? Because we think that fashion is not just clothing. It's not just a matter about textile or leather. It's a matter about something precious. And inside a bottle like this, you can put a perfume, you put milk, you put honey, you put something which is precious and which is not huge, which has a defined size. Because we like to work with companies who are very specialized on what they do, who have a deep knowledge of their business. We don't need them to be huge, but we need them to be very established in their business capacity. So this is how we have selected already 15 years ago our logo to express the values we take care. Gufanti showroom, I just move maybe from here up. Maybe it's here. I can, okay, just do it. Our story, we have started in 1989, so it's quite a long story inside this fashion business. And since the very beginning, Mr. Gufanti has started to distribute women children, and wedding dresses. It was the 90s. There was no Italian collection. There were all mainly French, Belgian collections. And it was really surprising to sell at that time all over the Italian country, because at that time it was very common to work only for one part of the country due to so many shops existing locally. Since the beginning, the challenge was to make all the country from Milano, because at the beginning we only had one office, which was our headquarters in Milano. Then in 2004, we decided to open in Rome. Why? Because it's already 20 years, so it's not a matter of COVID. It's a matter about already 20 years that Milano keeps to be the most important place. But if you want to have a more short-term, quicker relation with the shops, it's better to be also closer. And in Italy, in the southern of Italy, there are some of the most beautiful shops of our country. So it's important to be close to the southern of Italy. This is the reason why 10 years later, in 2016, we have opened our showrooms in Napoli, Bari, Palermo, and Padova. So maybe you don't know exactly Italian geography, but we open everything in the southern of Italy and one close to Venice, because it's very intensive. We keep our office in Milano, and our office in Milano has been growing, because the more we are local, the more we bring business to our headquarters in Milano. In 2008, I started with a person who is still today our director, the business in Russia and Russian territories. So, I mean, Russia, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, Belarus, Uzbekistan, Azerbaijan, Armenia, Georgia, so, and the Baltic republics. It's a huge territory. Everybody speaks Russian language. Of course, there are a lot of not only Russian language is the leading one. So in Ukraine, it's a lot of Ukrainian. I was 2 weeks ago in Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, and local languages, in particular in Uzbekistan, are very important. So it's a huge area where Russian helps to make things quicker, but locally, local perspective is very important. Why did Kufanti showroom go to Russia? Because since the perestroika, which is the moment in the 90s when all the Soviet area opened to free businesses, the Russian territories, countries have really loved Italy. There was a spontaneous love, and they travel regularly to Italy for holidays, but mostly for business. So the connection for business-wide is huge, even bigger than Paris, definitely. And in Milano, especially, there's a huge community of people from all over the countries I talked to, from Kazakhstan, from Uzbekistan, from Ukraine, and they all work in this Russian business cooperation for fashion, for furniture, for cosmetic, for a lot of different segments. In 2011, because Milano, and that's what I said at the beginning of our conversation, is an international platform, I had the possibility to start traveling to Asia. And for 10 years, I've been regularly traveling to China, Hong Kong, Korea, Taiwan. And it was the time when I met Orietta. And it was the time where I discovered how different is the world organization between big areas. So the whole Russian territories, they are very similar, how they buy, what the best sellers, what they like. In the Russian territories, even in the middle of very small cities, you have amazing multi-brand shops, because they know how to do it. It's in their mind. They buy, they have nice shops, they do spontaneously a great business. Asia is very different. China is focused on mono-brand stores. Korea and Japan have special requests, one different from the other. Taiwan is very warmer, so they look more only to summer product, not to winter products. And Hong Kong was, because now it's that Hong Kong has a more a Chinese government. Things have a lot changed. Was at that time the sister of Milano. It means that in Hong Kong there were a lot of showrooms, and it was for me, but also for all the people in fashion in Milano, very common to take a flight, go to Hong Kong, make business with the collections, with the Asian customers, come back. So it was something very up and down easily. Now it's much slower, this point. So Asia keeps on going. So all these things, they one with the other grow the business model. And now we are in 2024. What's happening in 2024? I mean, this year, I think you know it, is in the history of humanity, the year with the biggest number of elections. 76 countries had elections. Did you had some elections also in Mexico? I mean, national. You too. Okay. So
Yes, you have a women now. So they
yes,
have
you have a women president. You're
women.
right.
Come
You're right. You have
on,
a women.
we
You
should
were a
know.
game changer. You were really a game
Yeah.
changer. And thanks, Orietta. It's very important what you said now. And so you had, but we had in Europe, there were elections in different Asian countries. There will be elections now in Korea, in the States, everybody knows, and others. So in 2024, the world was suspended, everything floating, because we are waiting that 76 countries are taking very different decisions one to the other. And what does it mean for Showroom Gufanti? It means that this year is a year where we have to wait for the new normality. We need to understand what 2025 will be the new definition of normality. We will see with the shops we cooperate what is the mood, what shops, what consumer like, and we will invest in this new mood. So now we are making something which I would say is very sage, is to really keep calm, to make the right steps from January on. And so, in fact, this is a little bit how started all our story. And to make long story short, the point is that we really try. I made here just a small overview about our activity. We are global because we make an international business from Milano. So from Milano, we have international customers, but we have all the other rooms, as you can see from the Italy map. We do constantly scouting. Scouting means going to exhibition, talking, making analysis. And this is something very, very important for us. We never, I mean, this morning I was in connection with a Korean producer, and then I'm dealing with other European brands, and now I'm talking to you. I mean, keeping international relations. We trust, and this is something I want to say, because after COVID, everybody thought the world would be only digital. No, the world is digital and physical together. So on one side, we have our social media, our website. We do calls like we're doing now today. But on the other side, we keep on working on physical things. So I have here my catalog. It's the catalog I use for this Spring Summer 24, for example, of Gufanti. And I like still to have also physical relations. So meeting shops, traveling, giving catalogs, having sending wishes, bringing the collections in a physical meeting, because today digital needs physical to give a value. Digital is a way to make things quicker. Physical is a way to give heritage and value to what we're doing. So we work on all these tools. It's not easy because every market has different necessities, but we keep on strength on this. So for Gufanti Showroom, the team is very important. We have a team of people who have personality, people who are very strong in their mindset. We don't like in Italian you say un'acqua calda, cioè we don't like hot water. We like something very tasty. So people who have strength belong to the team Gufanti. Multicultural, because I'm very pleased to have people from all over the world cooperating with our company, because we need to be different to make things happen. And we try to have in a kind of training and next steps together. So this is a little bit how we organize our life. Last slide is about our organization. So here you can see the brands we cooperate. So as Gufanti, we have brands for women, brands for kids, brands for our wedding. Maybe I just go a little bit down with the slide. Like this. We have brands for accessories and a little bit for home. Why all these segments? Because as you have seen from our story, we take part to different opportunities in these 35 years, and we never stop doing this with a big strength from our side. So Orietta, my purpose in this first part of our conversation was to have the possibility to share with all of you who are entrepreneurs, who are top managers, how starting from a vision, selling all over Italy international brands. Nowadays, Gufanti Showroom is 6 offices, different brands with personality, and we talk to multi-brand shops. Multi-brand shops are like, I always say they are like small fishes, because they are all one by one, but together they are huge and very strong. So our business is to talk to all these single shops in Italy, in the Russian territories. Sometimes we cooperate with other territories. And so this is something which in Milano is possible to do. And I'm happy to say that Milano as an international platform makes things happen for international brands and international shops.
Per me è eccellente. So grazie, thank you, Alessandra. I want to put some question, because I can imagine what can be also interesting for all the entrepreneurs. Before to ask to Arturo, of course, because I wanted to provoke a couple of situations. So here we have an example, a case story of an Italian entrepreneurs that started a few years ago and adapted the business depending of the economic situation, political situation, consumer situation. So what Alessandra said, it's a mechanism made by many different elements. So in one part means to observe, I guess, I just try to repeat because this is my question. It's observing and try to anticipate which would be the issues. So politically, for example. To the other side is to have employees. Alessandra said one very Italian sentence. I have no idea if you understood hot water. So when a person is like a hot water, did you never try to drink hot water? So here in Asia, people drink hot water and they love it. In Italy, no. In Italy, don't offer hot water to anybody because you will be absolutely... So this means it's something that has no taste, no character, no personality. So how can you, this is my question, when you are an entrepreneur, usually you have the vision. but you need to transfer your vision to your employees. And in the meantime, you need to have employees that are more people that collaborate rather than employees. So, how can you build your team in a way that everybody bring something into the plate, bring news, work hard, try to do the things because they really want to do it, because this is a very important aspect. So, how an entrepreneurs like you and your family can keep this strength?
I think I don't have the perfect answer to this. It's more as we are a company of 35 people, so we're not huge, we're not super small, but we are 35. In our dimension, things start from the reason why they do that job. Cioè, everybody of us works for two reasons. Of course, for money, because I mean we need to stay alive to make things, but I hope because we enjoy our job. If it can be a very simple, a very complex job. So the more we are engaged in what we do because it makes sense for ourselves, the better we keep on doing. So I never stop curiosity. I ask like to the girls of my communication team to take part to a lot of conventions in which could take part online or in Milano, really to update themselves and to share the news. Or we keep on hearing what shops tell to us. If some people from my team has been traveling in a region, they met a shop and this shop said, you have to look for this product, Gufanti, because I'm looking for this. And yes, I take care. Maybe I don't mean that I will do everything, but I need to take care, because taking care is a way to give value. So two points: curiosity on one side, taking care about news. This way, everybody is looking to catch things to put them down. I'm conscious that other companies have more technical mechanism to do that. We don't really have a mechanism in Gufanti. It just happens like this. But it's very important for me to keep always this consciousness. This is why it's something I'm really, on this point, I always love to have very young girls and boys working, like with the school, in this kind of, in Italian we call it alternanza scuola-lavoro, cioè you go to school but you take a certain time, or you are doing a university and you have your stage. And I always have 4 or 6 people like this in the company, mainly in Milano or in other places, because I want that all my team keeps hearing the word. Because either we are, in order to be a good professional today, you need to be much more clever than in the past. You need really to hear, to understand, to have a sensibility. And the way to keep on doing that is also by cooperating with younger people who have, first of all, they need to learn. And when you teach, you start again why you do this job. So it's a very good exercise, mental exercise for a senior to teach. Second, you take an idea. Just to say something very simple, I didn't have the time up to date to make any lesson about AI, so artificial intelligence. Really did not have the time to, so many things to do. But we had the trouble with some pictures we had to try. And one of my stagiaires, so just really, I would say a girl which was just here for a short time, She solved all the problems due to this tool. And myself, I was really impressed. I said to her, thanks a lot. And I wouldn't have expected nor solved it by myself so good. And it happened because I'm here to have girls with me who bring to me new experiences. Tomorrow I will understand how to make these things in a more professional way. But now problem is solved. And for me, that's the king.
Ottimo, eccellente, eccellente. So I'm sure that Arturo has some question now, and for sure even the other guest today.
Okay. Good morning. Thank you so much, Alexandra. It's very interesting, your information. And I had a few questions. Why Milan? Does Milan offer any logistic advantage over other region of Italy? Because Milan is the center of Italian fashion, and why not Roma, or why not other city in Italy? What is the reason? Because Milan is the center of the fashion.
Allora, Milano has a history in fashion starting in the 60s. It was the place, I'm not a professor in history of fashion, but let me just point out some key points. It's the place where started the connection point between textile and designer. So some textile producer from Como and Biella started having not only selling the fabrics, but also started to have a conversation with some designers, which at that time you didn't call them designer, you called them more sartorial companies, in order to make the first events together. So in Milano started, first of all, the events about the textile, where to present the fabrics. And from this on came up private and then more public events to present the designers. This happened in parallel also in Florence at Pitti, where happened several catwalks organized by people who were very attentive to style and fashion at that time. And they did it, the first events in Florence. This is why still today we have in Florence an organization called also Pitti Immagine, who organizes some specific events. But the point that why also what was happening in Roma, because in Roma we have all the fashion coming from the cinema, all the fashion coming from the nobles, so the very elegant dresses. Why at the very end did Milano come up? Because Milano is an economic capital. So in Milano, you have a big strength of international relation. So transport, embassies. You have to know that in Milano, there are 105 consulates. It's more than in New York. And we are much smaller, definitely. We are 1.5 million, so we're not so big. But if we look at all the region, we get to 4 million. But that's the point from here. So, but because we are strongly multicultural, and this is one of the power points why the fashion evolved, because fashion exists as an industry for Italian people, but for the world. So the connection point was important. And so I would like to clarify, we have to distinguish between catwalks, PR events, I mean, events where you just have a presentation, and business cases where these catwalks lead to sales campaign, where there are showrooms, where there is the creativity industry. In Milano is not only the capital for the fashion brands, but also for the creativity. If you want to make a campaign, advertising, a model shooting, if you want to work on all this communication aspect, mainly it happens from Milano. Last but not least, in Milano, you have actually the representative office of the leading textile and manufacturing Italian companies. So Italy is a country with more than 22 textile districts from the northern to the southern. But it makes sense that companies who are in southern or in northern, I mean, not in Milano based, of course, they have a representative office here to make business connections. So it happened because like when you dance in couple, on one side there was the product, the designer, the textile. On the other side, there's a city which is more than running, flying, I would say. So Milano is really like a flying leopard. So very strong, but not super big. And these two things twisted together made it why it started. So if we look at the history of fashion in Italy, we have roots all over the country, 22 districts. We have exhibitions, the first catwalks in Roma, in Florence, not in Milano. Not everything started in Milano, but then it melted to get here as a business possibility.
It's very interesting, this history, because I think it's very connection between the textile manufacturer and, of course, the design and the manufacturer to garment is very interesting, this connection and facility to integrate the industry in some point.
There is a very nice film, I think on Amazon, I don't know, it's called Made in Italy. And it's the story how started the magazine Vogue. But the magazine Vogue exists because it's the magazine which talks about luxury. And it talks about luxury because luxury fashion is starting to exist in the 70s in Milano. So if anybody of you has a chance to have, maybe it's in English, of course, maybe it exists. I had some Chinese friends who saw it in China also. It's a movie like in 4 different, it's like a small series, let's say. Please look at it. It's very nice, charming, and gives a lot of news about what happened in that years to bring what we see now. It's the answer to this question.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Lady Sandra. Well, I opened the mic because it's very important. Some people make your own questions. Abrimos el micrófono para que cada quien haga alguna pregunta. Si hay algo, la verdad es que esto es muy interesante, esta integración regional que hicieron, muy interesante y es parte, creo que, del impulso que tiene la industria italiana, esa integración regional. Adelante, abrimos el micrófono. No sé si alguien tenga alguna pregunta. Todo quedó súper claro. All is
Zano. Zano.
Well, I had another question.
I'm not a leopard. Don't worry, I don't eat.
Okay, it's right. Well, in this moment is the moment of the chance in the world. 66 66 new presidents in the world is very important for all world. Is different ideology, different economic, different society. It's very important. How can you face a market where global clothing consumption has a tendency to reduce in this environment the chance in the world?
A very good question. The point is, I'm not facing. The truth is in between. I mean, when you do any business you do, it depends on the size of your business. Gufanti showroom size is middle. It's not huge. I'm not Inditex, Zara at all. I am a much smaller company. So I do my job in my country, and in some countries we are very known. My competitors, they are not bigger than me at all. I mean, my competitors were everybody the same size with different characteristics. So, but the business I'm facing is not a huge business. It's a business where I talk to a lot of small single shops. So in Italy, every semester, we cooperate with approximately 500 shops between women, children, and wedding dresses. These 500 shops, everybody has his own story. So sometimes business goes very well or not good, just for really individual points of view and matters. So my business has a balance that, because it's connected, I say, to earth, to very practical one-to-one relation, huge global changes don't impact immediately. They impact on a mid-long term, but not on a short term. What is impacting me on a short term? My relation with the brands. Because if I cooperate with a brand from Russia, maybe I have some troubles, difficulties now. Or I cooperate with an American brand, and maybe I will have duties tomorrow. Who knows what's happening in Washington? Then we'll see. So my big point is mainly on the supplier, then on the shops I cooperate. Why? Because my shops, everybody has his own politics in his mind, and sometimes it goes well, sometimes not well. While the brands, I can't have, they belong to more global rules, and if the prices go up, it's a problem I can't face. Or let me tell you another problem. Some companies produce in China, and because of troubles in the Suez Canal, they have to make the whole turnover with the boat of Africa. It takes 1 month more in delivery. So a lot of companies in Europe, in any field, not only fashion at all, had a lot of delays because due to pirates and political attacks in that region, the boat had to make another tour. So this is points myself I can't face. I mean, I'm passive. This is why I work with different parts of the world. I don't only work with American companies. I don't only work with European companies. I don't only work with Australian companies. I'm open to work with companies from all over the world, because I need to have a balance. Everywhere there is a trouble, there is on the other side an opportunity. But this happens, you can feel it only if you have different playgrounds you play on. So we try, although we are small peanuts, to have a geopolitical vision of our business from the supplier's point of view. That's the main point.
Right, it's very important consider the geopolitics, because the market is very important. Well, I don't know, no sé si alguien tenga alguna pregunta. La verdad es que está súper interesante este tema, la parte de los mercados, esa visión que tenemos que tener para poder enfocarnos y poder competir en un mundo que seguramente va a tener impacto importante el próximo año por estos cambios en la visión política, la visión económica y estos cambios en algunos cambios de timón que vamos a tener en algunos países. Es muy interesante todo este tema que no estaba muy visualizado. No sé si alguien tenga una pregunta por aquí.
Sì, magari io credo, in the meantime, if someone has something to say. We started this session, Alexandra, talking about geopolitics and consumer behavior. So in that case, of course, it's my topic. But now it's interesting that you took again this in consideration, geopolitics, in terms of supply chain, in terms of the store, in terms of market, because in this case, Gufanti showroom is representing the brand. Something like you have your collection, you want to sell your collection, the showroom it's presenting your collection need to be also sure about the safety of the payment. safety of keeping the name in a good position. Don't damage the reputation of the name of the brand. So there are so many of different aspects that the showroom has to care, keep. For example, the prices is another important aspect on the same level in the different. So Alessandra, this is maybe my question. How can you deal in this case? Because every brand you have it stay in a similar range, but they are completely different. So you want, like if you have many kids, everybody has to be the most beautiful. Everybody has to sell. Everybody are the best. Il bello della mamma, il bello del papà. So how can you keep it? That's not easy.
No, no.
Changing.
No, Arietta, yes, that's not easy, but this is why we have to be conscious that fashion is not pharmaceutical. So this is not a business which keeps on growing. No, this is a business which has like this, up and down, up and down. So it is the reason why if anybody of you has the possibility to open a new door, maybe with a foreigner customer or maybe with a new supplier, don't close the door. Do it, because there will be the day when what you think was good will go down. It's like this in this job. I know it for sure. So sometimes business don't go, so we sell zero. We really make peanuts because it's the collection was not good, the exchange is not good. Even the policy of the brand, some brands, they don't want to change their markup online. They keep on doing sales online, killing themselves. And then they say, why don't you sell? But simply, I don't sell because it's not the time. So it's a little bit for this reason. So Orietta, really to say that it goes, you have to be always very realistic. A lot of people study fashion on books. Yes, okay, you have to study. Myself, I'm also graduated at the university in law, but then you have to be really concrete, talk to people, make your calculation properly, and when things don't work, you have to say it, because this is not a world which is constantly growing like mechanical industries. It's a world which is really floating.
I think we really have a lot of time from Alessandra, because I know that she has a very tight timing, and me as well. I was also asking her, please stay in this time, and that was a little bit. So thank you, Alessandra. In
Thank
this
you
case,
too.
thank you very much. I really wish that we can be also all together in person physically. It's very important. I want to tell you this is very important. Last but not least, Alessandra just went in so many different countries as well, because she has to go to see the store, she has to see how the store is made, she has to talk with the people. So she has to see many different aspects. And I think it's also for you, even seeing how does it work, how it look like a space. So this is an important aspect. Grazie.
Thank
Molte
you too.
grazie.
See, I hope to meet you, wait for you in Milano in my showroom, definitely. Arturo and all the organization with Orietta taking care of
E
you
anche
in your
vedere
Italian journey.
for example, even to see your collection, your product.
Of course, please
Honestly,
follow.
è importante, vero?
No, it's important. Please, if you wish to know more about us, we have 3 Instagram accounts. One dedicated to, it's called Gufanti Showroom Official. Then we have another one, Gufanti Showroom Kids, and Gufanti Showroom Bridal, which is our third part. You can discover all the brands we cooperate yourself if you are willing to write me, to present me your brand, your project. I'm really willing to discover more about Mexico. So it's you who can tell me much more about it. Thank you very much.
Grazie, muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Molto
Bye
grazie
bye.
per il tuo tempo.
Grazie.
Encantada. Thank
Bye
you.
Arturo. Bye to you all.
Grazie. Thank you very much a tutti. Noi rimaniamo, penso. Ah, guarda quante immagini. Yes, thank you. Me as well. I have several questions to make her, but we can also talk for hours. I think maybe you want to share something with me. So now we just start our closing session. It's a little bit a pity because now I was trying to missing a little. I was missing that we had our appointment to go in a different conversation. So. I think Arturo, you already prepare a little bit of lineup. If you have some points that you know that everybody would like to know more, some takeaways, even if some of you want to share. I remember Mariana was sharing last time, so I have more idea what she's doing. So I'm open for you.
Okay. I think it's better the other manufacturer, other entrepreneur, some question. Yes, of course, I have some questions about of this need, but I think it's better the people speak or people question. Any question, por favor. Aquí creo que es un punto muy importante que Orieta nos está abriendo. Esta parte de poder tener a un especialista que ha viajado por el mundo, que conoce la industria de la moda, de repente nos puede ayudar a entender muchos de los problemas que tenemos aquí en México, de algunas ideas que podamos ir implementando en las empresas, hablando de diseño, hablando de mercados, hablando de tendencias, hablando de diferentes variables que pueden ser muy interesantes para nosotros. Considero que es muy importante poder aprovechar este espacio que nos está dando ahora Orieta. Entonces, abrimos micrófonos. Creo que es muy importante aprovechar esta oportunidad que tenemos ahora. Así que, por favor, abrimos micrófonos.
Mamma mia, hanno tutti, come si dice, miedo? No, non avete problemi. So don't have any, let me say, concern, but I like it to have even just one opinion each of you. I seen that all of you was being part of this conversation all the time. Maybe some of you can say, okay, this was interesting, this not, this was interesting, but I don't know what to do. So which are the topic that you have it? Because now it's really a compelling time. It's really tough. It's very difficult. Honestly, it's really difficult because we need to have thousands of ISIS. We need to be in every market. We need to be an entrepreneur is a little bit difficult. But still, there are some are doing good. So there are some are finding the angle. O stava tutto chiarissimo. So maybe I can also recap some of the points that we wanted to tell you during this conversation. First of all, it's not because, yes, something can happen in Italy. No, they cannot happen in Mexico. It's not true. It's not true because consumers spend everywhere. More or less, we are very similar. Fashion will never die, for sure. You are entrepreneurs with a very similar problem that Italian, Spain, France, Turkey has it. It's not only one country. What's the point? Maybe the point, as Alessandra said, have a very good team. Prepare a good team. So trust and give to them, even if they are young, if they don't know everything like you, because you know everything, you work since 40 years, blah, 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 they know something that you don't, for sure. For sure. Okay, that's important. The second one If one market is not going through, don't wait that the market will come back. We will never come back. Look at for another one. So which means you have to change the fitting. You have to change the style. You have to change the price point. You have to change. You don't want to change? No, in this case, it's not the best things. So changing, it's making you, of course, in a good position. Then travel. You and your team, not only you. Because if only 1 or 2% of the company travel, the other one don't see nothing. So if they don't see, they don't get on the same way. That's another important part. So at least you cannot make 500 people traveling, but you can make every season someone has their small way to travel or small way to see somebody else, somebody that give us them new ideas. It's very good. This is very healthy for them and they produce much better. And then, of course, there is another point, which is, as you understood, everybody was talking about store, small or big, a new different model of store, for example, connected with a lifestyle. The lifestyle is also sport. Now, for example, everybody on the brand, they are launching collection dedicated to sport. And if you say, but I'm not doing sport, and my man style is very classic, and my man is not doing any sports, who knows? Maybe just enough to use the advertising, it's just enough to change a little bit the material and give a stretch comfort or give a design. But you need to change the product. Don't stick on the same product. It's important this. Then there is another thing. Do you know your consumer? I still go back to the consumer. Even if it's still the same, do you know how the consumer change it? What are their point of view? Maybe they don't spend money with your product, but they spend much more money for other product. So that's many times happen. So this means you need to spend more in marketing. Marketing and more or less, I don't want to say marketing in doing influencer activities. You arrive to the influencer activities when your product is already landed into the store. Otherwise, you just waste money. I mean, spending more money in physical moment, in pop-up event, be many different places, in the moment that people want, having the direct relation. We are in a good moment where the consumer want to find independent brand and maybe local. This is really strong. Now I'm in Asia, for example, Japan and Korea. I'm traveling at least 1 month and I'm meeting really many different people. And they tell me that they need to find product which is different than the top brand. Because top brand are too expensive. Top brand are too similar one to the other one. And the competition is really big. So this is the time where an independent brand can come. Then there is another thing. Be informed also about the shipment regulations. Because sometimes they feel to be very complicated, but sometimes it's not the truth. I'll give you an example. Japan. In Japan, the yen is really low. So the currency is much more higher in Mexico rather than in Japan. I don't know if you know that. Your product is very appreciated by Japanese, but very few Mexicans sell to Japan. Why? Because going to Japan, it's many hours. You need to stay more than 3 days. You need to relate with people. And when you arrive to Japan, now it's my 12th day, I mean, in Japan, you discover that the consumer is not only Japanese. Now it's full of Chinese, Indonesian, South Korean, Australian, Indian. There are so many different culture still in this country, and they spend because they are here, and this is a land of shopping. This is one of the countries to explore, for example. I'm just giving to you some takeaway why I'm thinking about this. Because when you are an entrepreneur, you see that this market is not going. You don't leave it, but you try another one, and you try another one. You still open the different doors. It's not stopping that it's, of course, the key point. Then there is another takeaway, having textile and material, so supply chain, very well connected. And I think this is your strength. Mexico has all the best. In a certain way, you have supply chain, you have the manufacturer. Maybe it's not that technological all the time, but still you can sell more because it's manual, which is another side of the point. And then time is investing on the other side. So this is the takeaway. Go out from your market. Don't stop there. You are more or less in a situation where there are many different new opportunity. Europe can be yes, can be not. Most of the time, position your brand in Europe and sell abroad. It's very important in this case. And then there is another thing, the fitting. Fitting means pattern maker. Fitting means the size. This is another important aspect that make a product much more sellable or not for your young generation, for example, or for your adult generation that now feel a different body and they want to feel in a different way, or for an international consumer. So there are all of these types of elements was being treated during this time. Of course, you have plenty of technology. We talked about technology in the store, technology in the presentation, technology in a way to adapt your communication tools. In this case, I think we are all on the same page. Maybe the very big difference I can feel it's between South Korea, China, Japan, and the rest of the world. So these three countries are really like living in a video game, a live video game. The rest of the world, you still have the human touch, the human aspect. Okay, I try to put a little bit of variety. Then if you want to focus, I can tell you all the trend of Japan, because of course I'm here, all the trend of Italy, because we just leave it, and now we are preparing for the next season. Now is November, and everybody are working for January. January will start PT. In January we will start all the season and the seasonal campaign. Beginning of December, everybody will start with a pre-collection, which will be important for us because this will be the election in United States didn't help. So maybe it will be better for you than for Europe. We don't know, but in Europe was a very big shock because this will be much more taxes in the shipment, in the international shipment. By the way, January will be the month where we will see most of the game playing. So that will be, I know for sure, many showrooms like Alessandra, they are already preparing to do also a session in Asia because they cannot just stay in Europe and wait that somebody's coming. They need to go where the consumer, where the client are. Client means buyer, store, distributors. So I involved Guffanti because Alessandra Guffanti is not the fashion, let me say niche fashion. They have products that can make volumes and they can make big numbers. So that's important because it's more in your world. Non ti sento.
Okay, it's very interesting at this point. I have the question. You are in Japan in this moment. Mexico has a free trade agreement with Japan for all products. What is your vision to the fashion Mexican introduced in Japan? Because it's very loud the commerce between Japan and Mexico. What is your vision? How is the high points with necessary to introduce garment Mexican in Japan, in your vision?
In my vision, for sure, you have shoes, denim, a lot of denim. Now is the time of denim, for example. The reason why diesel, it's back to a very big moment is for denim. Because now it's denim. Because denim is genuine, it's crafting, embroideries, it means textile, like texidomano, fabrics that you can see that they are genuine, not classic, more casual, absolutely more casual, something that has a gender, which means it's man, it's women. This is the other aspect. And then also something sexy. Let me see if I'm talking about women, something that you see that it's elegant. Because even in the women, you can find this style and this concept. But for sure, Mexico has a touch. You feel it in a way to stitch, in a way to make it. What is important is to have a very good storytelling. Very good storytelling. It's better to have a small collection. This everywhere, small collection. Don't make mini pieces. If you start with a collection, you have 20 maximum styles with several SKU, and this is one group. If you have super big collection, it's better to divide in different stories. So your buyers see one thing and they're reminded. That's it. This is not only Japan, this is everywhere. More and more, if you analyze who is your client, in this case, they see so many collections, they see so many companies, they see so many brands. So they want to identify a brand that has a king or queen product. Where are you the best? Are you the best in a denim trousers? Do it. Has the best in different cuts. That's the best. Don't imitate anybody in the trends. Do that. You are the best in a men's shirting. That's super elegant in popeline cotton, very well double stitched. What else? Do that. But do in different material, which can accomplish different ages. So this is what I can suggest to a Mexican company. Don't try to make everything wishing that somebody will make a selection. Will not. Of course, you need to have a risk. But if you say, I'm the best in this typology of dress, you do it. And then you can adapt. Adapting means when you have a different sizes, when you have a different length, or a typology, the material that you never tried before. For example, yesterday and the day before, I was noticed that there is a lot of corduroy stretch used for shirting, men and women, a lot. Cotton velvet, a lot. That was using for coat in so many different ways. So I was thinking, interesting this way to use it. Because here everybody want to have things soft, light, puffy, like a teddy bear. Now I can, because I don't know exactly, I never seen your collection. So honestly, I would like to ask everybody to open the window and show me something. If you're more sport, it's your time doing outfits that are for runner, and maybe you can use in your daily using different types of nylon, or the style of fisherman, or even the style of timber. That's another interesting things. So all of this inspiration, but very genuine sport, are the trend. But not the coat of Barbary, because coat of Barbary, it's too Barbary now. And Barbary is not anymore what was at the beginning. Barbary was the trench in rubber, waterproof, to be used when you go as a timber. Okay? That's what I mean. So another big trend are all of these outdoor activities, a lot, so many, doing any types of sport, adventure, hiking, camping. Camping, for example, is another super big things. Camping means big trousers with many pockets, shirt in cotton canvas with many pockets. And even if you are very elegant, you will be the elegant camping. So these are the things. And immediately the same client, the day after, want to be super elegant. And that's another side. For who of you are the best in elegance, the best trouser. We have both, but they need to be very specific and connected with the right story. But all divided in many different things. So for instance, don't make 2 collections for year. Make 6 capsule. 6. We call drops. Okay.
It's very, very interesting. It's really open mind the people to the new products, to the new tendencies. For example, velvet. I don't remember many garments in velvet, but I remember in Asia is very used the velvet. Yes, I remember.
Now you remember, but I'm talking about corduroy velvet, which is not thin and sleek and elegant. It's with the stripes. You have different typology of corduroy. You have a large, medium, thin. You have different 1,000 stripe, 2,000 stripe, 500. It's a very technical detail. So that's more used for the countryside. So now I'm just giving a specific things. I don't want to be boring for Daniel or Ignazio or David or Claudia because I don't know their style. But I wanted to say that when you travel, you get inside of the store, you see exactly in a many different store. I'm talking about Beams. I'm talking about United Harrods. I'm talking about Isetan. I'm talking about Restier. I'm not talking about the big department store. Those one are not working very well. Not at all. Big department store are not working well. People goes, make a tour, and then they spend in food.
Yes,
Okay.
it's correct. Okay. Well, abrimos las preguntas otra vez. Creo que ya he hecho comentarios muy interesantes, Orieta, de verdad. Hay visiones que no traemos como que muy en el radar aquí en México y son muy interesantes tenerlas para poder generar nuevas oportunidades de negocio. Japón está pagando muy bien la ropa, es de hecho uno de los principales países consumidores. Europa, México tiene acuerdos comerciales con los 10 principales compradores globales. Esto es, tenemos acceso para poder vender nuestras prendas en el 50% de los consumidores globales. Tenemos que aprovecharlo y esta visión que nos acaba de compartir Urieta en uno de los segmentos, Europa, Japón, Estados Unidos, creo que son oportunidades muy importantes para fortalecer nuestros negocios. Así que bueno, abrimos micrófonos para no quiero acaparar esta parte. Es muy importante que ustedes sus preguntas propias las puedan hacer directamente. Adelante.
Se la sentono, eh? Otherwise, you make your question, you write, you send, and we reply.
Okay,
We
tenemos...
respect. Noi rispettiamo todos. Even you don't know how in such a strange way everybody talk with me. This time I have to say Japan is very changed. Did you ever travel to Japan? Some of you? Never? Before traveling to Japan, oh, go ahead. No.
Please, Rita. Well, I was in Japan in 2002 in pre-trade agreement in the negotiation, and it's very interesting. The culture, very interesting. The fashion in Japan. Fashion in Japan is very specific for the whole world, but I understand it's many chance is 20 years. But yes, 20 years. The difference between my trip in 2002. Please continue.
Yeah, what I want to say, I want to talk about Japan now, but not only because I'm here, but even because for European is very important. When you are the best in Japan, you are the best all over the world. But what I noticed, I was here in December and now, so just 7-8 months ago, more or less, even a little bit more. And then now people speak in English more. If they don't speak in English, they use the phone, Google, they talk, and they give you the phone. Everybody. So this means everything is prepared for foreign people and from tourism. The tourism now it's really, really well organized. They accept all credit card, including American Express, digital and digital payment. That's another very important point. So this means that they are making easy the life of the shopper. Very easy. Okay, we see a question, but I think it's
it was me. Yes, just wanted to know, how do you see the upcycling trend in Italy or in Japan now that you are there?
Okay. Upcycling trend now it's quite important. If I talk about Japan, people talk, You've seen it, but they don't buy because it's upcycling. They buy because it's handmade, because it's vintage. It's another story. It was being remade. For example, you know that here they have this very interesting concept, which is restitching the damaged pieces. This is becoming a super big trend again, and Japanese love it. If they love it, all over the world will love it. So everything is a defect. That's the reason why I said denim is perfect. Wool is perfect. Leather is perfect. All of those materials are perfect for them.
And what
Very
about
particular.
Italy?
Italy. In the supply chain and in the business people, upcycling is very important. So if you talk with me, Alessandra, everybody will tell you, oh yes, supply. Upcycling is very important, it's our law, we need to do it. Consumer don't pay because it's upcycle. It's better to use another word. It's better to use, I didn't make waste, so I reuse this material, but be authentic. It's not yet strong. Why? As I told you in many different time, Italy and Europe, main market, it's not European people. They are foreign, they are tourists. So they don't come to buy something which is cheap. If they want to have something cheap, it's made in China, made in Vietnam. So upcycling in Europe, it's still a trend for journalists, a trend for media. I'm talking about data, numbers. But will be, in wool will be, is not yet.
Okay, thank you very much.
Otra pregunta, digo, la verdad que es súper interesante y respuestas muy profundas que nos está entregando Orieta. Realmente, Orieta, you really know the old market in the world. I have the last question, my last question.
Yes.
What is your opinion for the Korea? Korea, in my vision, is big player the garments, but I don't know who is how big is in the production Korea. Korea is a big producer or is more import your garments?
They are not producer. Fashion is not existing.
Okay.
It's disappeared. It's completely disappeared. Tomorrow we'll be in Korea. We stay 2 weeks.
Okay.
And I have 2 showrooms here that they are working for some of our brands in from young new brands from Milan Fashion Week and Europe. No, Korea doesn't have anymore a good and a strong manufacture business. They are strong in K-pop and beauty, technology, electronic. I'm consulting Hyundai Motor, and cars are very important for them. South Korea is very important. South Korea is really, really good. It's a place where the crisis is less strong. Not easy, even in South Korea, but it's less strong. Young generation change a lot, change the way to sell, to buy. For example, even here, upcycling. Here means in Korea is important, upcycling. More upcycling what they have it. They have nylon. They upcycle nylon and they're very advanced. They make super beautiful product. Shoes, bags, mainly garments. They have still an area, which is a textile area, which is Daegu. Daegu is a third industrial city. Daegu is written. They did a collaboration also with us in Italy because they struggle because most of them goes to produce to China. the competition with China here is so big. And most of the Korean went to produce in China, and now they cannot bring back this aspect. They still have some production, but not with this taste that they had before. And leather industry, it's almost disappeared. So if I have to compare between Mexico and South Korea, they have beauty and you don't have beauty. Beauty means they really, they are crazy for that.
Thank you. And in your opinion, it's good market to manufacture or to garment Mexican in Korea? Is good market?
But Mexico, in a certain way, the young generation is like Japan. Young generation don't have money anywhere. Okay, so and even in Korea during COVID, people started to discover the countryside. So they go to ski, for example, in the winter. So they use a lot of winter sport. They go to the beach, to Jeju. Jeju are a few of the Iceland. They go to the countryside, camp. They have this super trend of the silence weekend in the middle of nowhere, trying to live like primitive because they have too much technology. This is a massive trend. So, which means wearing casual things. So, in a certain way, if I'm Mexican, first I try with Japan. It's easier. Wait, because Korea need a lot of money marketing. You have a different way to talk. So you need Kakao Talk, you need Naver. They don't have Google. If they Google something, they don't find it. Google is almost banned. So it's not like China, but it's still their own way to live. It's a little bit difficult to penetrate. Japanese, they are passionate and they can stay 1 hour to listen you if you're displaying a product. Koreans stay 1 minute enough. That's it. Even less. And then they go. And if you are not the super coolest, they don't look at you. It's not an easy market in a certain way, but that's the reason all big brands are trying to target them. That's for sure. So there is an interesting question. When I said the big department store are not working well, what I think they have to do? First of all, they need to differentiate their selection. Department store, they used to sell more spaces than product. And this business model, it's failing because when you sell spaces, the risk is you put Chanel close to Zara, which is a confusion in terms of positioning, just to selling the space. Then in many big metropolis, you can have 4, 5, 6, because of course I have in mind this big metropolis, and every department store has the same brand. So there is not variety, there is no selection. So what they have to change? Don't make small brand like you to pay the space, to pay the commission, to pay the let me say, to give the product in consignment, because it's too expensive. So that's the biggest things that you have to change it. It's not just creating event, inviting, entertainment people that you can make more money. That's a big problem. That's the reason they have. Sometimes we had some news. Oh wow, that's now it's working. The other one is not working. But maybe you don't know that the same department store, maybe they close many location and they try to concentrate in one location only. Then margins, they need to modify the margins. That's another important aspect. Then depending on the country, because if you live in a place where you just get out and you find all the store, it's not a problem of a department store or not. But if you have a place like US is one of the example, you have to make kilometer. So you go in a department store, you buy everything there. So depending of the consumer, again, it's not a matter of the other. If I think the current political situation, of course, I'm not in Mexico in this month. I would like to be there. I would like to have my eyes there. My husband is in Mexico. Honestly, he's telling me a little bit things. For me, yes. US cannot produce anywhere. They produce closer that they can, so they can produce to Mexico. You are the closer, you are the easier, you have the best quality. So the relation with China will be not that easy. And they cannot afford to produce in Europe and mainly in Italy. It's too expensive. Which is your point of view, Brenda? Which is your idea? Because you are Mexican, this is your thing. What do you think about this current situation in United States?
Hi, Orieta. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Yeah, I think that political situation right now is very interesting around the world because I think that Mexico right now has a very good opportunity to be one of the uh, one of the biggest manufacturers, as you said, because we have a very good quality. We had a very good prices to offer around the world. I think the political situation between US and China can help us to change our mind and maybe to be very competitive versus other markets that sometimes has manufacturer, but maybe the transit times, maybe the political situation that came up will not be a very good opportunity for Asia, for example. What do you think?
Honestly speaking, I think if I'm Mexican, I will not wait if this is a good situation or not. Otherwise, you never change. I'm very straightforward. Otherwise, you will sell to United States. Come on, and they can do what else they want. So when someone knows that their client always rely to them, they can treat them what else they want. They impose a regulation, they impose a margin, they impose everything. So the clever and smart and the wise entrepreneurs stay away. Okay, keep going. Don't wait. That's for sure. So my opinion, yes, they will come, but I think they will never quit. I don't think the United States never leave Mexico. No, they always increase the Mexican the Mexican production, of course. But I think Mexico need to start to produce to Asia, for Asia, because it's a way to learn. We as Italian, we learn it, and we still learn, because Asia has a structure, has a very, very important structure. And this is a way to make us very, let me say, more competitive. For example, when I said, don't make too big collection, be specific, less is more, because this is an Asian way to see things. Italian and Mexican are similar. I show you many things as I can, and then you pick what else you want. In Asia, you cannot do that. They got confused. For Asian, the situation of the United States, who knows? Because if Americans want to spend less, they are obliged to produce in Asia. They are obliged. They have no way out. Absolutely no way out. And honestly, things that when you put an implant, I don't know how many of you never tried to produce in Asia, but when you start to produce, it's not that you go there and you make an order. It's a political fact. So you start to invest, you start to open your company, you start to have a relation, you start to pay the people there, you pay the taxi there. So it's a long relation. Can you imagine how many big American groups they are doing this? So not very easy. And then Asian are very competitive. If their market is changing, they change. If sushi is not anymore a trend, they make tacos. For sure.
Okay.
I'm very sure. They will make the best tacos. You go there, you see they are Chinese. You think, what? Weird. That's weird. Because they have the sense of business. They absolutely have the sense of business in this case.
Yeah.
Isn't it? They change completely. They say, okay, is this a new trend? Okay, let me open this because it's a new trend.
Yeah, I think that they have been always very, very creative. They always innovate in many aspects. And I think that this is what is missing to Mexico, the feeling of see which are the markets behavior around the world, because I think sometimes we are only waiting for the fashion or for the customers that want to bring the fashion to us. We are a manufacturer, so that is why I cannot talk about the fashion because I have not been in any fashion event. But sometimes, like a manufacturer, I can see that sometimes Asia has the innovation of make and try to always behave according to the change of the world. Every season has everything new, something new to offer to the market. Always, I can say that.
Yeah, this is true. Cannot be too much for a Mexican mindset because Mexican are more conservative, are more slow in changing. Asia, it's meant to be. Their culture is like that. So for them, new means I'm modern. For us, new means, oh, I'm refusing my story. It's a different way, correct? It's a different way. As you notice, when I invited the manufacturer, the castor manufacturer, you see, and even manufacturer now are challenging because the success of every brand is a manufacturer point of view. And innovation happen there because the manufacturer is given to you the innovation to be simple, to cut some steps or innovate some line in a different way. So it's a key point, the manufacturer. If you don't have a good team, you cannot do that. This is something is weak in Asia because most of the time now the new generation is starting to say what they think. But usually in the manufacture area, people don't make decisions. If somebody didn't said you can do, okay, you are allowed. People don't step ahead. It's important. That's the reason in these days I was seeing Japan very different. There was some people that were crossing the street without respecting the traffic light. It was, oh my goodness, what's happened? I never seen a Japanese crossing without respecting the traffic light. is an example. In Italy, we always cross. If there is nobody on the street, we go. It's a culture.
Yeah, yeah, it's a culture. Yeah, you are right.
But of course, even now, during these types of conversation, people start to think, start to see what others has in their mind. I think it's important, but everywhere I notice, every country want to show that they are not old. So they want to show that they are new. They keep their story. For example, why Chinese are going to Japan now? It's really cool for them because Chinese understood that Japan is keeping their tradition. That's the reason I think Mexico is good for Japan, because tradition in Mexico are very strong, really deep. It's true. The touching, the smelling, the rituals, the ritualities. When we talk about storytelling, is a rituality. You have specific ritual. In many ways, you make the things if you want that they are good. When you make a hat, for example.
Yeah, yeah. Our rituals or traditions here in Mexico are very hard. It's very specific. In every state that you want to Mexico, you will find a very specific rituals to make. Other, as for example, as you say, a hat. Yes, and you can see that foreigners that came to Mexico sometimes are very surprised about the hand labor that we made with this hat. But sometimes we don't have the chance, or we don't have the, I don't know, how can I say, the opportunity, or to rise up, or to increase our capacity to export that kind of hand labor, to see and to show the world what Mexico can make. No.
Yes, in this case, yes. But that's also the case when sometimes happen that there are organization that they made this happen. So follow every organization that is trying to open this store, and don't follow the price. I know in Mexico is like a law, everything has barato, has to be más barato. Don't do that. I already seen in Mexico many buying Chinese material and making similar product in a cheap way. Don't do that. Don't. Avoid it. Because if you do that, people will not buy from you anything because they will say, but this is my material. And trust me, when people come to Mexico to manufacture, even the Mexican manufacturer in Mexico, if they decided to remain in Mexico, is because they have the authenticity. But if they discover you are buying something cheaper, less durable, they will never come back again. That's a big, big damage. And then you can shout what else you want, they don't come back. It's important because we live this in Italy. Many Americans now, they have this trend. They want to make their collection. They come to Italy and they say, okay, I need to make a collection there. Apparel, can be garments, can be, even if it's expensive. And then when they make the price, they discover the prices. Of course, the material cost. So they try to find something in secondary market. Let me say this. And then they say, oh, but no, it's a nonsense. Why do I need to do that? So they start also to discuss because they think, oh, Italian buy things from China and then they resell with a higher markup. this is making the damage of the reputation because someone did it. And this is the truth. It's important to be careful about this and declare every step. So in this case, these types of mentality, it's bringing back the client.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much for the advice.
Ok, thank you. Claudia ha alzato una mano.
Hola,
Ah.
buenos días. Bueno, no sé si haya más preguntas para Orieta. Justamente, bueno, como comentaba Arturo, es muy interesante la visión que Orieta está dando y sobre todo que, bueno, esta es la sesión programada para el cierre. Entonces, bueno, si tienen alguna duda, si quieren que Orieta ayude a complementar algún tema que se dio en sesiones pasadas, este es el momento para tener un poco de su expertise.
Es correcto, la verdad es que Urieta es alguien muy conocedor, la verdad, a mí me está dando puntos muy interesantes de comercio internacional y esto es algo que, vaya, agradezco muchísimo, Urieta. It's very interesting your opinion in the market, international market. It's very important for me. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Well, no sé si hay alguna otra pregunta, comentario. La verdad es que podemos aquí seguramente quedarnos hasta las 6 de la tarde, pero ya los tiempos se está cerrando la sesión. Entonces, abrimos el micrófono quizás para una pregunta más o un par de preguntas más, o si no, vamos cerrando el micrófono.
Yes, otherwise I also suggest make a list of questions that we can also recap in order to even understand better very specific detail. I think it's very important. Molto interessante. And even for me, I can learn it. Come on. I can learn your way to make things.
Okay. Well, si ya no hay más preguntas, no sé, Claudia, si quieres, ¿hay algún otro comentario final que tengamos por aquí? Claudia.
Por parte de la Cámara, bueno, solamente agradecerle a Orieta y a la Cámara Nacional de la Moda por todo el apoyo que nos han brindado. Entonces, bueno, no sé si queramos dar unos minutos más para ver si no hay preguntas o si quieren que ya empecemos con las palabras de cierre. Ah, perfecto, ya tenemos a alguien.
Adelante, Isaac.
Hi, Orieta. Thank you for all these sessions. I wanted to ask something. If you were to set up a brand new company, starting from zero, you have a lot of resources, and you want to set up a new luxury brand in Mexico, what would you do? Where would you start? I mean, what would be the key points?
Do you have a budget?
Whatever you want.
Oh, wherever I want.
Yes. How would you start?
Okay, I tell you very, come si dice, d'impatto, di petto. For sure, I will start from very, very specific way to manufacture. For example, the shirt made in a certain way, the jacket made in another way, but not in one place only, representing different area of Mexico. So what this means, something that is really, really useful with a very simple design, super simple. Why simple design? Because simple design, it's wearable from everybody. And I will work more in the material because material is what it's making you the difference. For sure, leather, for sure, wool, and for sure denim. So if I have to be super straight, then depending how much money you have it. But in another way, I will start the upcycling concept that Mariana asked. But upcycling natural material.
Okay.
Hmm?
And okay, thank you. And I also wanted to ask you the other way around. What is it that you as an European find nice about Mexico? What do you like about what specific? You mentioned our style and the different things we have, but specifically, like what specific aspect of Mexican design do you find appealing?
The rusticity, rustic material, rustic, organic. Hmm?
Okay.
When you have a material which is organic and rustic, rustico, so you feel to have in your hand something durable, something that long last, and something that will never disappear. That's if I have to imagine the shoe, if I have to imagine jewelries, for example, interiorismo with the stone. Every new designer that work with the stone, the hat. So every pieces you've seen it, they have this. But now I tell you, so what I miss, that I think it's making this product too Mexican. Sometimes this product is too rustic, it's too organic, it's too heavy. So if I have to wear in another part of the world, need to be lighter, need to
Okay.
be less ethnic and very straight. So in one side, it's a beautiful aspect like that. In the other side, need to be something that when you wear it everywhere in the world, people feel it that has something, but it's not written, I went to have a vacation in Mexico. Okay.
Okay.
Molto
Okay.
direi.
Thank you very much, Orietta.
Okay. But you need to have some money in marketing because otherwise non fai niente. Va bene.
It's correct. The
Okay.
marketing, the investment in marketing is very important for the many products. For all products, it's very important to invest in marketing. Yes, of course.
Ma per esempio, a men's shirt in Mexico make me the point that has the most beautiful cotton, has the most beautiful shape, the put the poses of the man in a certain way. But I need to feel that some international men, they never wear it. They have no idea how to wear it. And they cannot stay like this all day long because they don't use it. So you need to teach them the pose. So sometimes when I'm talking about fitting, I'm talking about this. But you have this shirt with the high collar, 2 button here. They make you beautiful standing, but you cannot move your body.
Okay. Okay,
Un
great.
esempio.
Bueno, ¿alguna última pregunta? Ya prácticamente estamos cerrando la sesión del día de hoy y obviamente las sesiones del curso. La verdad que es súper interesante todos estos temas. No sé si alguien más tenga alguna otra pregunta. Ignacio, Mariana, Elena, alguien que quiera hacer una última intervención. Claudia, creo que terminamos la sesión. ¿Andas por ahí?
Bene, io vado a dormire, però no, terminiamo perché domani ho.
Ok, bueno, a nombre de la Cámara de Comercio Italiana en México, le agradecemos a Orietta y a la Cámara Nacional de la Moda por la coordinación de estas sesiones. Orietta, gracias por tu expertise, traer a diferentes expertos que nos dieron diferentes visiones de lo que es la industria en Italia y bueno, justamente porque Italia es líder para posicionarse en mercados extranjeros. Entonces, bueno, Te agradecemos mucho, esperamos en la visita que se hará el próximo año a Italia, los empresarios tengan la oportunidad de visitar estos talleres, tengan la oportunidad de platicar con estas personas y sobre todo los modelos de los showrooms, del e-commerce que se contaba en la sesión pasada, que bueno, son muy buenas prácticas que nosotros podemos implementar en la industria mexicana. Entonces, Orieta, te agradecemos mucho. Igual les agradecemos a la Canaíbe por la coordinación de estas sesiones, llegar a los empresarios. Todas las sesiones fueron grabadas, mismas que se les compartirá una liga de Drive para que puedan acceder a todo el contenido. Y bueno, si después necesitan consultar algo o revivir una sesión en específico, lo puedan hacer. Entonces, les agradezco mucho, Orieta, Arturo, Sabrina, José Antonio y bueno, claro, a la directora de la Cámara, Fariba Gallardo.
Orieta, a nombre de la Cámara, nuestro presidente, que hoy no tuvo la oportunidad de estar presente, pero bueno, a fin de cuentas fue muy enriquecedor esto para la industria. Créeme que aprendimos mucho. Yo me voy, digo, no soy propiamente empresario, pero en la parte que me toca representar dentro de la industria he aprendido muchísimo. Este conocimiento lo tengo que comenzar a discernir entre las diferentes empresas y creo que lo más importante va a ser esa visita donde vamos a tener la posibilidad de tenerlo en vivo, en presente, cómo está operando esta industria y creo que va a ser el complemento ideal para poder cerrar este ciclo de conferencias que fue realmente interesante. Muchísimas gracias, Urieta, muchísimas gracias, Claudia, y muchísimas gracias a todos por su participación.
Muchísimas gracias a ustedes y gracias de haber participado. Gracias.
Un aplauso para Urieta, por favor.
La próxima vez, next time you come in my suitcase and you travel with me around the world. È un poco più difficile, però si può. Grazie.
Muchísimas gracias. Un aplauso para Urieta, de verdad.
Muchas gracias. Ciao.
Gracias, Orieta. Ciao.
Hasta luego.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Grazie, muchas gracias e buona giornata. Buenos días.
Buen
Ciao,
día. Hasta luego, Urieta. Bye bye.